Top of the night, people. Brief announcement. Citation Hassan underscore Farrock 56. This is where the citation's coming from. So this is where I'm getting the information from, but I did my due diligence also. Non-NATO Rothschild countries are forming. They don't need money loans from the IMF. 6 months ago, the New Development Bank, the NDB, set up by the Brics group of nations, said on Thursday it had admitted the United Arab Emirates, Uruguay, and Bangladesh as members in its first expansion push. So if y'all ain't familiar with the Brics group, that's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're the Brics group. A group of major emerging economies known as Brics launched a bank in 2015 and started forming talks with potential new members last year. You have people that don't want to be westernized. You have people that don't want to be friends with America and do what America say. These countries that don't listen or that don't want to be a part of it, America usually knocks them off. Like Iraq, Saddam had a lot of gold and money. Like Libya, Gaddafi, he had trillions of gold. He didn't want to deal with them. Venezuela, Hugo Chavez had, to this day, they have the largest oil reserve in the world, Venezuela. They have trillions of gallons of water, untapped reserves. There's always balance in power. There's always yin and yang. There's always dark and night. Every regime gets their chance to rule. Every regime, every empire gets their chance to rule. America's on a great decline. China's rushing into Africa. Heavy. They're in 15 countries in Africa. Like I always tell y'all, China might be the first country in the world to have a country inside Africa real soon. Stay tuned and pay attention to these moves, whether it's a global war, whether people say it's Illuminati, it's planned out, or whatever y'all say, it's going down. Citation from a follower on my Instagram page. He had DM'd me because I sent him something that a sister had posted. Listen what the sister says. Let's go what the sister says real quick.
Here is a fact that America doesn't want black Africans to remember. Russia, Venezuela, Jamaica, Grenada at the time, and a few other countries stood with South Africa against apartheid. Bolivia, Nicaragua, a few more. But Russia was the only superpower that has never enslaved black people. Russia is the only superpower that did not raid Africa, didn't piggy bank Africa. Alright? So that's just a little history lesson for you. A lot of people don't know this. Okay?
So y'all see what the sister said about Russia, right? Now we're going to go to the citation that the guy sent in my DM. The sister is right, however, left out Russia helping Africa in war several times. Russia is the only country that stood with Africa during colonial times. They defended Patrice Lumumba and they fought with Angola against South African apartheid regime. Russia was the largest ally in that war. So they supported Egypt in the Sinai War. They liberated Mali from France, from French imperialism. And Russia was Africa's only ally military-wise and never colonized Africa. Never tried to sabotage Africans for its resources either. The Wagner Group, Russian government private contractors, has trained Hemeti's group in Sudan and still in Sudan working with Hemeti's group. I know this firsthand from several brothers in Sudan, right? So Russia's not really a bad guy. as America portrays. I learned throughout my life from watching news and studying history. Whoever America usually says is the bad guy is a good guy, or they don't want to bow down to America. They don't want to let America use them. It's kind of like with the rap game, where certain dudes don't want to sign record deals because they want to be independent so they can have original content or be able to say what they want. So the labels are blackball them. America is good for that. When countries don't want to team up with them and let them deplete them of their resources and use them, America will try to blackball these people. Russia always helped Africa. They never did nothing foul to us. And like I told y'all in the past, Russia defeated, Joseph Stalin defeated Hitler when they went to war with the Nazis. Hitler sent Japan to America. That was Pearl Harbor, and then it led to Hiroshima. Hitler sent Mussolini towards Africa. That's when Mussolini ran up in Ethiopia and in Egypt, and they blew the nose off the Sphinx. In sidebar, Ethiopia never been conquered. They the only African country that never been conquered or colonized. But they defeated Mussolini and them. Ukraine is footage all over, not made up footage. And even the president of Poland said it. I don't want these people coming to my borders, these African people, these Muslim people. I don't want them coming to my borders. Stay away from my borders and y'all be safe and y'all be all right. So Poland and Ukraine is showing mad racism towards Africans, not Russia. Russia always helped us and always helped them and assisted them, Africans. The reason why I say them, because I consider myself as black indigenous. I always consider myself black indigenous. We know there was black people here before slavery. You know what I'm saying? Every black person here wasn't a slave. There was Indians here or natives here before the colonizers came, whether they was brown, dark black, light brown. There was people of melanated, dark hue here before the colonizers came. So I always say I'm indigenous. We already know Africa is the mother of civilization, the cradle of civilization, and everything came from there. But I didn't just come from Africa. And even Africans, that make sure they tell you that and point that out to you. There's a few times I told them, oh, I'm half Haitian. Haitians is descendants of West Africa, Togo, Benin, and Sierra Leone. And were you born in Haiti or you born here? I'm born here. Oh, so you American. So they quick to Africans, especially in the Bronx, bro. Bronx and Harlem, they're quick to let you know you're not born in Africa, you're born in America, so you're American. So I always ask them this. Do you know American history? And some of the Africans would be like, yeah. I said, well, do you know in the 60s and in the 50s, blacks was considered 3/5 of a man or 3/5 of a human? Oh, I never read that yet. Study more American history. So we just recently, in the 60s, I think Jesse Jackson made it up, the African American slogan. Because before, we was identified as niggers and then Negroes and then blacks and then African Americans and then something else and something else and something. I don't get into all that shit. I'm black. And when people say, oh, it ain't good to say we black, the universe is black. The universe is made up of melanin and it's made up of ether. And when you study the ether realms, the people think the life in the universe is the stars. No, the life in the universe is the darkness. All that darkness you see surrounding them little stars and planets or whatever those supposed to be, that's really the life in the universe. That's the energy. That's the real existence. So backtrack what I'm saying. So you see the way Ukraine and Poland is treating the Africans. The Africans gotta man up. They gotta boss up. And people always say, damn, why a lot of countries bully Africa and everything. Like Vladimir Putin said, they don't stick together. They sell each other out. And they do the most dirt to each other. And when you do your research, the Africans sold a lot of the black people out. That's over here to this day. The people who's considered descendants of Africa, they were sold out by Africans. They were sold out by Africans. You know what I'm saying? So listen to this real quick. Vladimir Putin speaks.
Diaspora News Channel. Russian President Putin says Africa is a cemetery for Africans. Before you form an opinion, first let me read you the whole quote of what he said. Putin says, quote, Africa will never be independent. Africans believe in Europeans, Americans, Chinese more than themselves. They don't trust themselves at all. A white man will commit crime in Africa, but no action will be taken because Africa authorities view us as semi-gods. Far from the truth, a black man can be abducted in Europe, get harassed, or even killed, but no African authority will question. Africans present themselves as weak people with no hope, especially when dealing with Europeans and Americans. They are their own enemies. They hate each other, and that gives their colonial masters power to continue exploiting African resources. When an African becomes rich, his bank accounts are in Switzerland. He travels to France for medical treatment. He invests in Germany. He buys from Dubai. He consumes Chinese. He prays in Rome and Mecca. His children stay in Europe. He travels to Canada, USA, Europe for tourism. If he dies, he will be buried in his native country of Africa. Africa is just a cemetery for Africans. How could a cemetery be developed? Putin asks. That's how it felt, really, hearing this from him. But let's be honest, let's have a real conversation. Is your...
So, I ain't gonna go on because it's like 2.5 minutes. But y'all hear what Vladimir Putin said about Africa. Africa is weak, it's divided. The main 3 African tribes that played the part in selling black slaves to the Europeans in the transatlantic slave trade was the Ashanti people from Ghana, the Igbos from Nigeria, and Mansa Musa from the Mali Kingdom, who is known as the richest man in history ever. Yeah, Mansa Musa was a good Muslim and stuff like that in regards to his spiritual beliefs in building a school in Timbuktu and the Mali Empire. You know, they had a lot of riches and wealth, but he also had a lot of slaves. You know, so we are greatest enemy. Black people are their greatest enemy. And other countries is making moves. The Arabs, the Chinese, the Northern Europeans, the Blue Bloods. Everybody's making moves. Africa's still being depleted of their resources. And they're the underdogs. And like Putin said, they're going to forever be the underdogs because they worship the Chinese man. They worship the white man. And they're shit on each other. Gaddafi had a plan. And that plan would have united the whole Africa. It would have changed the game. It would have put us in power and we would have ruled the world. But what happened? All the African leaders betrayed Gaddafi. They listened to Obama and they killed Gaddafi. So now we're set back another 1,000 years or something like that. Not me per se, but the Africans. And reason why I separate myself from them, because at the end of the day, I know the overall theme of life. I'm just a traveler, and I'm traveling through this world, which is transitional. So I'm not really trying to get super attached to it. And while I'm here, I'm just going to make sure I leave my legacy behind, whether it's my music, my blogs, my exercise videos, my positive posts, or whatever I can through creativity. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it behind. So when I transcend to the different dimension, other people can watch it and get inspired, and hopefully it'll encourage them to, evolve in their craft and grow in their craft and do what they do. The gods don't mingle with the mortals. Kings don't eat with the peasants. The only time wise men hang around fools is when they educate them or enslaving them. Stay up like a copper, holler back on my collar crack. We get up like sit-ups from oxygen. Una. Iron.